Hey there, Fletcher from All Things Overlanding here, and today I'm excited because I'm going to be talking about this awesome new mattress from Luno called the Luno Air+Foam Pro Camping Mattress. This thing I've used 3 or 4 times. I've had a Hest as well. The Hest is very good, but this thing is also really good. So it just kind of depends on your needs. So I'm going to talk you through all the features, the dimensions. I'm going to talk to you about this mattress and why I think it's so good. And then hopefully it'll give you the information you need to decide if it's right for you and your camping setup. So if you want to learn more about the Luno Air+Pro mattress, stay tuned.
Understand where it came from, but you got it, I got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you gave to me. Loosening my grip.
All right, guys, so just to start out, let's sort of talk about form factor and packed size of this mattress. The thing that I really like about this is if you are a tent camper, if you are a hammock camper, if you're a cot camper, ground camper, even if you're a rooftop tent camper and you can't typically keep things in your rooftop tent, this is a good option because when it's folded down like this, it's about 26 inches by 7 inches. So it's actually really, really small, right? Like it's smaller than the size of a cot. So basically a little over 2 feet long and a little over a ½ foot tall. But this thing would fit, behind your seat. It would fit in the bed of your truck, wherever you want to put it. I also have left it in my rooftop tent, and when you deflate it and kind of lay on it and just close the valves, it'll easily fit in a rooftop tent. When inflated, it's about 4 inches thick, which is really, really nice. Gives you a ton of space. I'm kind of a side sleeper, so this has been really comfortable for me. Even though I kind of toss and turn and roll side to side at night, this has been really supportive and nice. So compared to a stock rooftop tent mattress that's maybe 1.5 inches or 2 inches thick, this is about double that. Plus it's got air in it, plus the foam. So it's really super comfortable for sleeping. Another thing to point out about this is that Luno is known for their inflatable goods for camping. So they have like custom made mattresses for different vehicles. So you can buy custom mattresses that will fit in your vehicle perfectly. This is more of like a generic rectangular shape that you could use in a rooftop tent, on a cot, in a hammock, in a ground tent, that kind of thing. So this is just a way that they've taken their expertise in inflatable mattresses and made it more portable and a little bit smarter and easier to use for those of us that aren't sleeping in our vehicles and don't need a vehicle-specific sleeping solution. Another nice thing about this thing is it only takes 60 seconds to self-inflate. So generally what I do is, again, when I'm sleeping on it in my rooftop tent, I will undo the valves. I will let it air itself up. I will close the valves. Just give it plenty of time, right? Because I'm opening up my rooftop tent. I'm unpacking stuff at camp. So I will let it air itself up, and then I will close the valves. I'll sleep on it all night. The next morning, I will open the valves, lay on it, just kind of deflate it a little bit, close the valves again, and then I'll close my rooftop tent, and I don't even have to take it out, which I really like. If you're a rooftop tent camper, leaving bedding in is always huge. So the fact that this thing is as comfortable as it is, but then also able to compress down by letting the air out and basically laying on it and then closing the valves is really, really nice. Another cool thing to point out before we open it up and kind of look at the actual mattress itself is I love that the actual whole mattress has a built-in sort of compression and carry system. So as you can see, it's got this nice high quality handle on the top of it, and then it's got these sort of compression straps here that you can actually use, like I've used it, to kind of condense it back down and roll it up so that it fits in as small of a package as possible, so that again, it doesn't take up much room behind your seat or in the back of your SUV, that sort of thing. And when you want to take it out, you can take it out really easily with the handle once you've compressed it down, and you can take it out of the vehicle. So as far as dimensions go, they have 2 sizes of this mattress. There's a regular and there's a tall. The regular is about 72 inches long, about 25 inches wide, and about 4 inches thick. Now the tall is just 6 inches longer. That's basically the only difference. So 78 by 25 by 4. And as far as pack size goes, the tall does add an inch to the pack size. So instead of 26 by 7, it becomes 27 by 7, just FYI. All right, but so let's go open this mattress up. All right, guys, so we are gonna open this thing up now. And again, I'm just gonna show you this. I'm gonna kind of show you how big it gets. We're gonna let it air itself up. I'm gonna show you what that looks like. Now, again, I've spent 3 or 4 nights on this thing, and it is phenomenal. It's really, really comfortable. I would say it's as comfortable as my Hest mattress. Luno also has a really good pillow, and Hest's pillow is really good too, but Luno's is amazing, and maybe even my favorite pillow. So I'll put a link in the description down below to both the mattress, but also their pillow, because together they're a phenomenal combination. So we're gonna undo these C-clips here. One of the cool things about this is that this is the cover, right, that you use to wrap up the mattress and basically contain it and also carry it. But one really cool thing that they did with this is instead of one, attaching it to the mattress so that you can't use it for anything else, and two, making it just a useless piece of cloth that you basically use to wrap up your mattress, they turned it into a carrying solution. So in here you can see you've got a couple of pockets. So you can actually store, throw your glasses in here, throw your phone, your watch, your keys, that sort of thing. When you go to sleep, you could use this sort of Molly-esque sort of panel here with this C-clip to hang this around your headrest on let's say it's the back of your driver's seat and you're laying in the back of an SUV. You could basically use these clips here to attach this to the back of your seat and then use this as storage, which is really super smart, right? I love that. So there are basically two ports on this. There's one that says in and there's one that says out. I love that they make it super easy for you to understand. They've got these nice little grab handles on them that make opening them really, really easy. But so since we're gonna air it up, we're gonna open up the inside of it, which is gonna allow it to start self-inflating. Now, as you just kind of watch it here, you can kind of see it's unrolling itself, right? Like when you see these things, a lot of companies I feel like say we have a self-inflating mattress, but it doesn't often work. As you can kind of see here, this thing really does inflate itself. So while we're waiting on it to self-inflate, another thing to point out is that inside of the cover in that pocket that I just showed you, there is this little bag. And you may be saying, well, what's that bag for? It's not big enough to carry it. You're right. It does go in the normal carrier is what it gets carried in. But what this actually does is this works as an inflator. So if you want a really firm mattress, you'll notice that down here at the bottom, it has this little gateway on it, if you will. This actually fits into the in port. So you want to make sure that the out port is closed because you don't want the air to go out. You do want air to go in. You can actually stick this thing in here and then you can use this to inflate it. So basically what you do is you attach this to the in hole, you make sure that your out hole is closed, and then what you can do is you can blow some air in here just to sort of get it opened up, right? And then you're gonna roll it. It's like a roll top sleeping bag or something. But as you do that, you can see that it's filling with air because you're trapping air in this thing, and then as you squeeze it, it forces it into the mattress. So again, if you wanted your mattress extra firm, it's gonna inflate somewhat by itself. But then if you want it extra firm, you just open it up, you get some air in here, you roll it down, and you just keep doing that over and over again, and it will put more air into the mattress. So you don't even need a pump or anything like that. If you want to get it a little bit more firm, it comes with this built-in bag, which just makes airing it up a little bit more easier. So now one thing that I will say is that I am typically impatient and lazy. And as a result of that, I have one of these little flex tail inflators. So if you don't want to mess with the bag is a nice option if, let's say, this thing was dead or the battery was dead or I forgot it at home or something like that. But this little tiny flex tail pump works great as well. And I will oftentimes use this. You can use it for inflating or deflating. Again, I will put a link in the description down below just so that it's easy to find. But if you're looking for something like that, this works great for inflatable mattresses and is really inexpensive. So when you get it inflated to the level that you want to close up your in hole, just to make sure that there's no leaks and that everything is good to go. One thing to note is that I'm really, really happy with the feel of this top part. The surface of the top is really nice and plush and sort of smooth. It doesn't feel like laying on an air balloon or something like that, which a lot of these seem to have a slippery surface, which I don't really like. A lot of times I will be sleeping in a sleeping bag, and so I won't really touch this surface, but like right now it's summertime here where I'm at, and so having the ability to just lay straight on this without a sleeping bag is really nice. It doesn't feel bad at all. It feels really nice and cushy, which I love. So if you aren't leaving this in a rooftop tent like I do, and you are, let's say, packing this up every day, the really nice thing is you don't necessarily have to work too hard to get the air out of it. All you have to do is open the out port and then roll it from the bottom end. So roll it from the end away from the ports and just roll it as tight as you can. It's kind of like rolling a sleeping bag. You remember like in the olden days, you had to roll it as tight as possible because they always were super tight. It's kind of the same idea with this. But as you're rolling it, you probably hear the air coming out of it. So basically, as I'm rolling it down, the air is coming out of it and it's getting super, super tight. And then it's gonna allow me to put the cover back on it really easily so that I can pack it up. So I'm gonna push it all the way to the end here, get all the air out of it, and then I'm gonna reseal that out port. Now that's also gonna help you keep it from expanding or reopening up, right? So then you're gonna take your cover here, you're gonna lay it out, And then you're just gonna put your mattress right on top of it. And then you're gonna use these little C-clips to grab onto your thing here. Basically, you're gonna put C-clip number 1 through there, and then C-clip number 2 is gonna go through this end. You may need to loosen them a little bit and then cinch them down, but I like that they made them basically like cinch straps because then you don't have to wrestle with it. A lot of these inflatable mattresses that I've had before have been kind of a pain in the butt because you know, the straps are only one size, or it comes with a bag that's very, very tight. But with this, you just get the C-clips attached and then you pull on these cinch straps and then you're tight as you were when you first got the thing. Which again, not a lot of companies can say that. A lot of times it's way harder to get these things back in once you've used them or once you've opened them up. And with the Luno, it's really easy to pack down, which I love. All right, guys, so that will do it for the Luno Air+Foam Mattress Pro. That thing is really, really sweet. If you are looking for a solution, let's say that you have a really tight rooftop tent, an aluminum hard shell rooftop tent, sort of like my style of rooftop tent. You're probably looking for something that is gonna compress and allow you to keep more bedding up in your tent. That's where the Luno really shines. If you need as much room as possible to get your ladder up there, maybe your awning poles, if you'd like to keep a pillow up there, maybe a blanket or a sleeping bag, having a compressible air mattress that's a combo foam and mattress is kind of the best of both worlds. So, and especially with a name like Luno behind it, a company that's been around for a long time and specializes in this stuff, you know that you're going to have a good mattress that's going to last for a long time. That's always my concern with inflatable stuff is longevity, right? You want to be careful that you don't buy a really inexpensive, really cheap, crappy sort of knockoff mattress from Amazon, because if that thing pops and breaks in a year, then you're going to be out all that money. And even the less expensive no-name brands are still $150 to $200. The Luno is a little bit on the higher side at about $290-ish, but again, you get that name brand behind it, you get the warranty that comes with it. So when you're dealing with inflatable mattresses, it's just nice to have a good quality brand that's going to stand behind that product, and that you also know did the R&D to make sure that it's a good quality product that's going to last for a long time. So again, I think the Luno really shines for hard shell rooftop tents. If you want something that packs down really small but is still really comfortable for hammock camping, cot camping, ground camping in a tent, that kind of thing, this thing is a great option. Now, one thing to talk about that I haven't really touched on is the size. So we did talk about the dimensions, right? But it is only 25 inches wide. So just one thing to keep in mind is, obviously, if you are in a rooftop tent like mine, this sleeps about 2 people. My rooftop tent is about 48, 49 inches wide. These are 25 inches. So you could probably squeeze 2 of these side by side if you had a significant other that's going to come with you. If that's the case, you might need to buy a couple, so the cost is going to be fairly significant, but you're both going to get excellent sleep. It also gives you the ability to adjust firmness. So if you like your mattress more firm and your significant other doesn't like it as firm, then you guys can adjust your own, which is really, really nice. And if you're like me and you mostly go by yourself, but occasionally your significant other comes with you, then you could just run one in your rooftop tent so that you don't have to mess with airing up and down 2 of them. It's really easy to deal with. And then again, fold up the other one, keep it as small as possible, throw it on a shelf in your basement, and have it for when you both want to go. But so overall, super impressed with the quality of the mattress and excited to keep using it more and more. Definitely a staple of my rooftop tent camping trips going forward. So if you have any questions, of course, post up down below. As I mentioned, I'm going to put a link to the mattress. I'm going to put a link to the pillow. I'll put a link to my FlexTail pump that's really awesome down below. So that'll make finding those things really easy. Check those for prices. Also in the description down below will be links to all my social channels. So wherever you want to come hang out, I'd love to have you. Also in the description below will be a link to my website where I've got funny overlanding camping themed patches and stickers. So definitely check that out as well if you're into sort of collecting patches or putting stickers on your vehicle or your fridge or wherever. Definitely find some stuff that you like there. Then there's a join button below this video. That's just kind of a passive way to support the channel. It's about $7 a month, so no pressure. But if you want early access to the videos and you just want to say, hey, thanks for making the content, I'd like to support you, that's a nice, easy way to do it. If you want a more involved way to do it, there is a link to my Patreon page down below, which is way more active. We have a 24/7 Discord. We do a once-a-month Zoom call where we all kind of hang out and drink a beer and just chat. And then we'll do 1 or 2 trips a year to different national forests and stuff where we all try and meet up and have a Patreon trip. So tons of fun to be had in the Patreon. Check that out. And then last but not least, there's the Newbie Overlanders Facebook group. Totally free to join, tons of awesome members in there, but different from the big groups. There's no bullying or anything like that. So if you're newer to overlanding, or if you're just tired of the bullying in the big groups and you want to try something new, definitely check out Newbie Overlanders. But again, thanks for watching. Hope that was helpful, and we'll see you next time.